This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so hopefully we will stay on all today. And are there any questions on anything we covered last time? Are there any questions?
I just have a question about the book.
Okay.
Hi. I just wanted to know, because I keep checking online for the bookstore and they're saying it's not there, but I know you said that they're supposed to be working on it. But do you have a quote of how much that book is going to be?
I guess in the $100 range, something like that.
You might as well get Cengage.
Huh?
75 to 100, I think. They're going. I'm not sure what it's going to be. It's updated with pictures and everything, so I don't know if they're increasing the price or not. And bookstores saying they don't have the order, and uh, the publishers say yes, we sent it in, and this and that. So they're going back and forth on that. Hopefully, by between Friday and Monday, that they will have it. Now, right now, you have everything that you need in course content.
Okay.
Always prep for things like that, and so since they decided they were going to have problems with it, with the virus and everything, a lot of things happen in companies where people are working. It's just one of those things.
Okay, Derek, I think you were trying to tell me something. What were you saying?
It says it's best to get Cengage because you can get every single book from like classes for $100 if you get the unlimited one.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I bought that, the 119, but I ain't know if that's the same for what we needed for his class.
It should cover it. I've got that question into them. It should. They are publishing the book, and
So that's the same thing. The Syncast, because I have that for 2 other classes.
right. So
And find the accounting book on Cengage. The ISBNs are different from the one that you have on Blackboard.
right, because there's a new version out.
Okay.
So,
well, I can let y'all know when we get it in the bookstore because I work in the bookstore.
Oh, you work in the bookstore?
Yes, I can tell you when it comes in.
Okay, well,
Hello?
that sounds good that you're there. And so,
can I ask you a question real quick?
I know they were going back and forth on it today. So, but you have in course content what you need so far. Hopefully, it'll be there between Friday and Monday. I'm hoping, and hopefully, it will be with the Cengage Plus. So if you got 2 or more books by Cengage, you want to sign up for the Cengage Plus, and that covers all the books you have. Okay, so let's see where we are today. So we will review. We talked about accounting and what its primary purpose was to produce these financial statements. The income statement, which tells us what are the revenues and expenses of a business. The statement of retained earnings, which tells us how much of the earnings were retained in the business. The balance sheet, which lists all of our assets and liabilities, as well as our stockholders' equity. And then the statement of cash flow, which shows the pattern of cash in the business itself. So our goal is to learn how to prepare these 4 statements. Why? The journal entries that you're learning to make now, a company might have 10 or 20,000. The only thing that they're going to send you is a summary of all those entries in those statements. So if you're an investor, you'll see those statements to make your decisions. If you work for a bank and you're going to make a loan, if you're a customer, you're going to make a major purchase, it would be a good idea to look at the financial statements if you need support from that business down the road. As an employee, current or prospective, you should look at the financial statements to see, okay, are these the type of statements that I want to see? Is this company doing well enough so that I should work for them or continue to work for them? So there's a tremendous need for you to understand financial statements for a variety of reasons. And we said we're going to learn how to prepare those statements, but I asked you to do a couple of things in preparation. And one of those, I asked you to move to the vantage point of being a consumer to the vantage point that you are going to run a business and make a profit. You're put in teams of 4, and each team is to select a corporate name when you make your presentations. And you send in your journal entries. You're going to draft and file articles of incorporation, so you will pull down the articles of incorporation for the state that you're going to incorporate in. You create an organizational chart, and that's just how you are going to operate. You could be team with a team leader and co-leaders, or however you want to be. Then you're going to issue stock. So for everybody on the team, the lead person will determine how much you're going to pay for your stock and send you a stock certificate for how much you've invested in the company. And you'll send them a fictitious check, of course, for that investment, which is going to show you that when you start a company, you put your cash in, you get a stock certificate back, and that's it. You cannot take your money back out the corporation. Once it's in, it's in. You have a stock certificate, and basically you can sell your stock, but you don't get your money back. And of course, our goal is going to be to create an accounting system for the business so that these 4 financial statements can be prepared. So I want you in a business mode as we do this. So when you send in your 10 journal entries, you are to have a name, your articles of incorporation, a listing of the stock and who bought it. And you can show a stock certificate for one person, but a listing of all of the stocks. So I want to see that preliminary information along with your 10 journal entries. We reviewed last time and we said we have an accounting equation, asset equal liabilities plus stockholders' equity. The stockholders' equity consists of common stock and retained earnings. Retained earnings consist of the revenues in the business minus the expenses minus the dividends. And we said if you start a business and you put that cash in, and that's the purpose of the stock certificate, to show you, okay, you send a check, you put cash in the company, and the company now owes you, well, they have your money in an equity interest of $100,000. And the purpose of the company is to increase this cash through earnings. If you put this money in, the company needs to have some earnings. That's why, that's why you would have made the investment. Then we talked about double entry accounting. And we talked about the fact that Luca Pacioli in the 1400 said in any transaction between business persons, our business person and his customers, you receive something, that's a debit, you give something, that's a credit. So you receive something of value, that's a debit. You give something of value, that's a credit. And then he said we create a T account for every type of item that we have. On the left side of those T accounts will be debits. On the right side of the T accounts will be credits. And so that's why we have double entry accounting, because we have various ways that things can occur and we have to indicate how. As a student, you received a bill for school this year. And so the debit you received was, the courses that you're taking and what you're going to learn in those courses. The credit was some of you paid by cash, some paid by loans, some paid by scholarships, some paid by a combination of those. And so the university has to reflect how you pay. So it reflects the fact that it's giving you something of value to education, but then it's going to reflect the fact of how you paid, because if you didn't pay cash, then they need to get the loan from the federal government, they need to get the scholarship money from the foundation, whatever. And so it tells us what they need to do to come up with the total tuition that they charge for the semester. So that's double entry accounting. And so with our accounting equation, what that lays out is that the assets are going to be debits, the liabilities, common stock, retained earnings, and revenues are credits. And since they're on this side as debits, expenses, and dividends, they're kind of negative things for you. That is, debits on the left side are good, credits on the right side are good. And so if you have a debit over here, it's like you paying your rent, and you got a right to live there, but something happens to your cash when you pay that rent. Okay. We looked at buying an auto and paying cash, how that transaction would look. We debit auto and credit cash. On the other hand, if you utilize a note payable, you would debit auto and credit note payable. And if you use a combination, you debit auto, you got the auto, but you gave up cash and a note payable. So every time we make a journal entry, there's at least 2 accounts, but it can be 3. If there are 3, the debits and credits must be equal. Debits and credits must always be equal. Then we talk about the accounting cycle, which would lead us to the preparation of the financial statement. And we said we're going to work on just the first 2 steps, analyzing transactions and making journal entries for 2 weeks to make sure you can do this. Because if you can't make journal entries, then you cannot, go through and get your financial statements. And we want you to be proficient in journal entries. And how much time did I tell you have to make a journal entry? How much time did I tell you had to make a journal
A year
entry?
or a quarter?
No, I told you the time when you're taking a test.
Mm-hmm. Hi,
How much
Professor
time?
Boyd.
Yes.
This is Daisha from your 11 o'clock class. I actually didn't mean to butt in, but I had a question about my journal entry, and I was just trying to come to you to make sure I was correct, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
And to answer your question too, for the class, it's 2 minutes because I heard your question.
And of course, if you're in the afternoon class, you can always visit the morning class so you can get it twice. What's your question, Daisha?
Okay, so for my journal entry, I had paid interest expense on note payable for $4,000, right?
Correct.
So for my interest expense, I have $4,000 debited, and for my credit, I was confused because at first I thought it would be the long-term note payable for $4,000 to be credited, but I asked one of the classmates in for my group, and he told me that it would be cash $4,000 credited. Does that make sense on what I'm asking?
Makes sense what you asking? Anybody in the class got an answer?
I don't think they. What are y'all behind our class?
No, they are behind you there. They're just kind of
Oh.
quiet and then they had a big lunch. Remember I told y'all not to eat a big lunch? But the prior teacher didn't tell them that. So they ate a big
Deja,
lunch.
message me on GroupMe.
Okay.
No, okay, so
What I was asking about though, because I know on our sheet 11 and 20 is the same. So
that's okay.
No, I
there's
was asking for journal entry number 26. I had 26.
oh my bad.
No, you
But that's
straight.
okay. You know, you pay rent every month, you know. So you repeat that every month, correct?
Right. Oh, so they are supposed to be the same.
Fine, that's fine.
Okay. And
Now,
I do have another
whenever
question.
cash comes into your business, you 1 through 6. And I told you just got 1, 2, 3, and 5 to worry about right now. If you pay cash out, you got to be 7 through 11. You got to be 7 through 11. So you pay interest. That's what? An expense. So you have a 9. And so your classmate told you correctly. Okay. If cash is not involved right now, you got 2 other transactions that you can have. Number 12, where you purchase an asset utilizing debt, or if you make a sale on account, that is, you don't get cash. So these are all of the journal entries you have to worry about at this point. Then I tell you for your accounts, you got to come off this chart of accounts. When you pick your accounts, you pick the account and the number. Cash 100, common stock 400. You're always doing that, so you make sure you get a specific account. So I don't have, you paid an expense, you got to tell me what expense it was. Or you purchased an asset, you have to tell me what asset you purchased. And we had 10 transactions that we worked on yesterday, and we recorded those transactions, and we went over all of those transactions. Are there any questions about any of those transactions by anyone?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Professor Boyd, you still never answered my question.
You weren't listening.
I
You say your
was. You didn't
Hello.
answer it. I'm trying to
You
make
say
sure
your
I did this right.
I'm good.
Tell her.
I say he said your classmate was right.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna leave y'all alone.
Thank you, Milton. Must be a prospective A student there. All right, who had a question?
Well, speaking of the assignment in the journals, when exactly are they due or how are we doing them? Because I know we're supposed to go by groups, and I know group 1 is supposed
Groups
to go
1
first.
and 2 go on Thursday. Groups 3 and 4 go on Tuesday.
Thank you.
So you should be sending me, and I'll put the link in assignments, your 10 journal entries, as well as the name of your company and all that other information I asked you for. And then you're going to make those journal entries today. Any other questions?
So we basically do our number on that sheet that we have with it's
Do
like,
your number. So whatever number you are on that roll, that's your journal entry.
and we get the journal entries from like those problems we was practicing last week.
No, there's a 70-inch journal entry practice problem, and we're doing the first 40. That journal entry practice problem is in course content. Team 1, you got 1 through 10. Team 2 has 11 through 20. Team 3 has 21 through 30. Team 4 has 31 through 40, and you got the journal entry. There's a roster in there based on whatever your number is on that roster. That's your journal entry that you're gonna have to present.
Wait, so we only supposed to do
Giving your team one grade.
no, but like in our group, it's only like 4 of us, so it's supposed to be 10 of us in a group.
Yep, 10 in a group.
Well, we only heard from 4.
Now you know what that means. The mail must be delivered. We got to get these votes in.
I have a question. Assignment.
You are responsible. Let's listen up. You're responsible for all 40 journal entries. You got to turn in all 40 journal entries. So, what I'm trying to do is to get everybody participating, get everybody one, demonstrated, and then you can look at that. But you should be, if you gonna make an A up B, you should get all 40 of them work anyway. You're responsible for all 40. But I'm giving everybody one so they can go over one, so everybody can do at least one journal entry.
So when one group finishes theirs, they can share with the other groups so we can have the journal entries, or we have to do the rest of them on our own.
Now they're gonna work it out, just like, remember on this problem, we worked it out. You remember this problem? And we worked these journal entries out.
Yes.
Next class period, the next team, and they need a person with a computer, are gonna go and work out those first 10 and put them in this format. So you're gonna see the first 10. Then the next group's gonna go 10, and they're gonna be worked out and explained. Then the third group's gonna go do 10, and the fourth group's gonna go 10. So all 40 will be displayed.
And do we need to dress up, or we have to have our cameras on Thursday?
You gotta have your cameras on, and your team decides whether it's gonna professional dress or not for extra points.
Okay.
If you present, your camera needs to be on, realizing that, this is how you'll be working in the future. Because Amazon would need drivers and people working in the warehouses, though. So if you don't like working like this, there are options.
I have a question about the assignment.
Okay.
So far as with the journal entry, I see we have like T for the trial statement and the closing entries. Are we gonna do all of that as
Don't worry
well?
about that yet.
Okay.
All you got to do worry about now is that first one, journal entries.
Okay. And then just the part about making up our business in the certificate, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So I do journal entries because I don't want to come to midterm and you can't do a journal entry at midterm. Because by midterm or whatever, you're going to have to do some of the other things. So that's why you only got 2 minutes on a journal entry. So in this problem, we invested $10,000 in the business, and we said that was what? A type 1. We debited cash, credited common stock. The account numbers were 100 and 400. That was the first one. In the second one, we received car-owned revenue of $50,000. Type 2. We debited cash, credited sales for $50,000. Debit on top, credit indented to the right. Debit, credit, type. So the first thing you do, you determine the type. That tells you the account. You put the amounts in and the account numbers. Any question on this first one and how we did that? So this is how the entry looks when you issue the stock and you get your stock certificate. This is the journal entry the company makes getting your cash. So that's why I want to simulate you paying for stock. Okay. In that first journal entry, Journal entry 1, how much is the cash on the problem? Who has journal entry 1? Okay, that's okay.
Can you flip it around so we can?
See what now? You want? Well, we'll
What's
get
on
to it
your
later.
screen?
I'll get back to that later. That's not essential. Wait a minute. What did you want to see though, man? Let me.
I thought you were doing problems on your screen.
Yeah, I was gonna put them on, but I'll do that later. Don't worry about it. What I want to do now is to make sure you see what we did. We just did this in order. We collected cash of 50,000. We said that was a type 2. In a type 2, you debit cash and credit sales, dollar amounts. Cash is 100, sales is 500. So let's go back up here again. We had cash revenue received, type 2, debit cash, credit sales. We go down here and get our specific account. Cash is 100, sales is 500. We make the journal entry, debit cash, credit sales, the amount, journal entry numbers. Any questions?
I have a question. What would you do in an instance where you have like a down payment? Like you have a certain amount that you got approved for, and then you still like you also have a down payment towards that. I guess I'm confused on what that like. You have to make 3 columns, or because it's I guess it's more.
Is that your journal entry?
No, well, it's one of them. I guess I'm kind of confused on if you have like, yeah, like the notes payable type of thing. Like, yeah.
Okay. You can buy an asset, pay all cash. You can buy an asset, all credit, or you can buy an asset. It was an auto for 10,000. You paid 2,000 down. You sign a note for the balance. So we have cash at 2,000, note payable 8.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Would you be uploading the transaction types and chart of accounts so that we could be able to access it better instead of through video?
It should be uploaded in course content already. And so
Okay.
what you should be doing,
I don't think
of course.
I saw it, but I'll look again. I don't think I saw it, but I'll look again.
Did anybody see it?
Yeah, I got it.
Anybody see this in course content?
Yes, it is.
So it's in there.
Yes.
So what you should do would be to make a copy of the transaction types, and you make a copy of the chart of accounts. So you always got it ready. Exams, quizzes, you have it there. So
Okay,
you should make copies of these so you can flip back and forth. Got it?
Okay.
So if you hadn't done it already, by next class period, you have copies of these, hard copies, so you can look at these and make these transactions. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
You can go first.
Oh, I don't have a group because I heard that we're doing a group project or something. I don't have a group.
What group is he in?
What's your name on the roll? I mean, yeah, what's your name? Because
Luis.
it's going by your name.
Luis del Real.
What number you is on the roll?
Yeah, what number?
He's number 11.
Okay.
Group 2.
You're in my group then. Group 2.
Yeah.
Group
He's
2?
in group 2.
Yeah, so I'm about to add you to the group me if you're not already in the.
Okay, yeah, I'll put my number on the text.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you have the roster in course content, correct?
Yes.
So if you click on that little icon, it gives the email address for the person, right?
Yes.
Okay. So.
Thank you.
I have a question about number 26.
We aren't on that yet. We're on this right now. That's homework.
Okay. Okay.
So let's look at purchasing supplies on account for a second. Was purchase supplies paying cash? And the key thing here is that when we go to the type, we are purchasing an asset. So we're crediting cash, asset purchase. You got to go to the asset that was purchased. Inventory, supplies, prepaid insurance, land. Same thing if you pay an expense. You don't say pay an expense. You got to pull out an expense. So I think that's pretty straightforward, given that I got these account numbers. Any other questions on anything?
Okay, so I do have a question. On the homework, just for clarification purposes, do we need to make a new Excel, or are we using the Excel that you have in course content for the homework?
Yeah, you use that Excel, you download it, and you continue to use it throughout the course.
No, I'm talking about where we need to input our information, not the one that we're looking at right now.
Okay, you got a blank one in course content. You download it, put your information on it, and submit it, and you continue to do that throughout the course.
Okay, and is it the one that has the JXJ bookstore on the side of it, or is it another one?
I'll look at that as I get you all busy.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm doing it in the right thing.
But you know, that's also why you have a team. Just like the person, they came in and checked. So that's why I got you working in teams, so that you can make sure you're straight on certain things. I'm going to share something else. What you see is a journal entry, ledger, and trial balance in-class problem that you all are going to work. And this is how you're going to work it. Team 1, that's journal entry 1. Team 2, journal entry 2. Team 3, journal entry 3. Team 4, journal entry 4. Team 1, journal entry 5. Team 2, journal entry 6. Team 3, journal entry 7. Team 4, journal entry 8. Team 1, journal entry 9. Team 2, journal entry 10. Team 3, journal entry 11. Team 4, journal entry 12. And then all of you have 13. So what I want you all to do is to take 10 minutes and work the journal entry for your team, and then we're going to come back and you all are going to put them in here. Now you need somebody on your team with a computer so that I can give them the screen and they can write. I don't plan to be doing all of this writing for you all. Everybody's clear on what they're supposed to be doing now.
Hey,
I got to make you all work some so I can see whether you know it or not. On Thursday, you'll have a practice quiz. Maybe 5 journal entries. Everybody will do it and turn it in. On next Tuesday, you'll have an attendance quiz. And following Thursday, you'll have a real quiz. So today, you know, we're just, I'm just letting you get a sense of what you need to do and how we're proceeding. And you'll see that all the journal entries going up here, you just have to, number one, understand them, plus have comments on them. Are we clear, everyone? Okay, get to work.
I have a question. So those journal entries we was doing last week when you had the sale of goods, like basically telling you where to go. Is that on Blackboard?
Yes, that should be in Blackboard.
And can you tell me what is it under? Because I can't find it.
Course content.
Course content.
In course content, probably in the second part of course content where we look at the accounting cycle. So you got the first part, theoretical framework, then you got the second part, the accounting cycle. So there's two items in I'm going chapter by chapter. And so everything that relates to this accounting cycle is the second one in there. So you'll find it there, okay? And of course, we'll have office hours tomorrow. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So teams get to work, and I will be back at about 3:20 now, 3:30, 3:35.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Ready?
What were we supposed to do?
Make a journal entry.
Okay, but the practice problems, I couldn't find it.
Say that again.
The practice problems, I couldn't find it. So I went.
It's right
Where?
here. Right there.
Okay, so which
Slide over to the first
number
one
that we were supposed to do?
Group 1 have what? 1, 5, and 9, I think.
And group 2 had which ones?
2. What else do they have? 6
It's
and
2, 10, and 13.
It's 2, 6, and 13. No, okay, and 13.
Now everybody had 13. So if
Okay.
you're in group 2, you had number 2.
Yeah.
Then you had number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had number 10. Group 3, do you know what you had?
Didn't even do it.
Say what?
Said didn't do it.
Do you know what
I'm trying to work on one right now.
Because I about to say I can try to do it right now since I know which one I'm supposed to do.
Okay. We'll give you a few more minutes. So
Group
Group
3 was supposed to do
whatever. Group 4
3,
had
8, and 12, correct?
So group 3 and 4, you all okay?
So group 3 was supposed to do 3, 8, and 12.
Supposed to do number 5 as well.
We're supposed to do number 1 and number 5 and number 10.
All right.
Group 4 is okay.
Group 3 was supposed to do 3, 5, 3, 8, and 12.
3, 7,
2, 6.
11.
Wait, we supposed to do what? 3, 7.
Then group 4 had 4, 8, and 12. Group 1 had 1, 5, but 9.
I don't think something wrong with your mic.
My mic?
Yeah, it's like
That's not me. That's somebody.
Okay.
Mic off probably.
Okay, what was you saying?
Whoever has all that noise.
I think it's Miss Huxbury. I'm not saying her first name.
So unless you're talking, just cut your mic off so we don't have the background noise.
Okay, so for group 3, We were supposed to do numbers what?
3,
Mm-hmm. 3, 7, and 11.
3, 7,
Oh,
and
okay.
7. Thank you.
Okay. 7, okay, thank you.
Y'all sure were quiet a long time. So we'll give you about 3 more minutes and then we'll start. Joy, you have to work hard with these folks.
Yeah,
man.
she's helping a lot.
Say what?
She's already helping out a lot.
Good, good. See?
I do what I can.
I think I'm ready to do number 7.
Was somebody ready to do number 1?
Do we need to write this down or anything, or we just practicing on the call?
You gotta write it down. How people gonna know what you're doing if they didn't work it? Who in group 1 has worked on it and has a computer? Let's see. Alexander? Coulter?
No, Dr. Boyd, I have one, but I don't have my webcam.
What's your name?
It's Joe Hoff Chowdhury.
Okay, but you don't have a webcam to see what to do, huh?
No, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know the answer for it, but I don't have a webcam for you.
So I can't give you the screen, huh?
No, yeah, I can get. I'm just saying I was going to answer for group 1.
All right, let me see if I can give you the screen.
Oh, okay.
So you got the remote now.
Okay. All right. I can go ahead and type it?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's what I like to see. Must be an A student. What y'all think?
Give it a couple weeks, we'll see.
Another 0 on there. Okay. So this is a journal entry we typically always start off with. And if we're in the classroom and you missed this, I would hit you on the head with a yardstick if you missed that first one. So I missed the classroom for that. Okay. So let's see. Let's go to group 2. Do we have a volunteer in group 2?
I'll volunteer and do it. Are you gonna share
Wait a
your?
minute. Let's see. Jamal, you have to give up the remote. What's your name?
Marisha.
All right, Marisha. Let me see if I can go to you. Okay, Marisha, you have it?
But can I scroll it down, or are you scrolling it down?
You doing it. That's you. You got the con. So this received the $40,000 working capital loan. And y'all better practice tomorrow, so y'all be ready. See how hard I have to be working?
Yeah, I see.
And in case y'all didn't know, Mr. Boyd does have a YouTube channel where he reposts these videos, and they help me a lot. So I was just letting y'all know to like rewatch and pause and study off of those videos.
Thank you, Kiara. And I know you're gonna be stepping up for Team 4, right?
Yes, sir. We got some strong people in Team 4. So
Oh, okay. Y'all going and take 13 too then, since y'all so strong.
thanks to all that. I was just letting you know.
Somebody's got to take the shot now. That's why Rockets lost yesterday. People wouldn't step up, so you can't just shrink back now, say something, and then you got to hit that winning shot. All right, Team 2, what y'all got to say about this one?
What you asking me or?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do I have to say?
Joy? Joy
You know,
still
somebody asked me about this the other day, and I'm confused about it too.
Oh, so
what do
it's
you
wrong.
say on this, Joy?
Well, hold on.
Okay, they received the short-term working capital loan.
Oh, yeah, that's
Got
wrong.
Risha. So anytime you're getting cash, what's going to be debited? So you need to switch cash and short-term note payable.
Oh, okay.
You see that?
Wait, why you say I have to switch it though?
Because when you get cash, you debit cash.
Oh.
When you're paying cash, you credit it.
Okay.
Anytime you got a 1 through 5, you got to debit cash. It'll take forever, Marisha.
No, it won't even let me. It won't let me delete it. Delete it out.
It won't let you delete it.
It looks like you moving the mouse, not me. You get.
Well, sometime what China was coming in. Let me just see.
Did you take the remote back?
I was trying to take it off of China, right? Let's see. I got it off. So you're the only one with it now. Can you operate it now?
Let's see. Okay, yes.
The other person was still on, so that's what happened. Team 3, get ready, please. So when you're presenting, you may just designate one person to do the writing. Give her a hand for all of that.
I'm saying this your stuff. You must really love your job.
Why is that?
Cause it's a lot of work.
Oh, you see that now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who do we have on team 3?
I'm gonna do number 3 for team 3.
Who's that?
Kiara Miller.
Kiara. Say it again, Kiara what?
Miller.
Kiara Miller.
Mm-hmm.
What are you on? Because you're not showing up that I can share with you.
My
Oh,
laptop.
it's Kyara?
Yes.
Okay, I got you now. So go ahead then. Purchase supplies on account.
Okay. It's saying that you have control. Wait.
Hit you again.
Yeah, it's saying that you have control.
All right, let me try it again. I guess it just doesn't want to operate. If you're not compatible in any kind of way, says you have it now.
Yeah, I see.
But is it working for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Was that shade?
These are the supplies purchased on account. So what type is this? Okay, it can't be cash because you purchased it on account. It's like you're using your credit card. So what type does this have to be?
Hold on. Repeat what you said, please.
You bought it on account, like using your credit card. If you use your credit card as opposed to your debit card, what happens in your cash account? Nothing. So you would have a type, what, 12? Is that purchase of an asset on account?
Yes. Wait, no. Yes.
So you'd have a type 12. So change that 7 to a 12. And change cash to accounts payable. You need to be in this box here.
I'm trying.
Okay, so sometimes those things happen. Okay, team 4, you up. And this is a team that said they had all these good people, they're so confident. So who on team 4 is ready?
I'll go.
Okay, Kiara Thompson. Let's see where we can. Try it again.
Do I have it?
That chat is acting up.
Ooh.
So that makes you the presenter. It's not quite what I wanted. Okay, so let's see if we can do it again. It's not wanting to give you access. I guess it doesn't like your computer. So this is.
Can I tell you what I have?
So what?
Can I just tell you what I have in there and you type it in?
Do that.
Okay, for the account number for the first row is going to be 131 paid insurance.
Okay, 131 prepaid insurance.
Yes. And 2,000 for the debits. And then it's type 8.
Was type 8 purchase of an asset?
Yes. Wait, I think.
No, is that
I'll
7
have
or
to
8?
I'll have to
Type,
go back to the form.
is that type 7 or type 8?
Type 8.
7, purchase of an asset is 7.
Okay, type 7. And then the second row is going to be 653. Insurance expenses.
No, we bought the policy for cash. We had, when you first buy it, it's still an asset until it's utilized. And remember, you got the credit cash, remember? So that credit has to be the cash for 2,000. So
Okay.
you're going away from the rule that says, you know, from what? 7 to 11, you credit cash. So you got to stick to those rules.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we're on journal entry 5 now. Back to
Can you go back?
Q1.
Can you go
What's
back to
going
number
on?
3 and change the 100 to 301 for accounts payable, please?
301,
Yes.
we'll do.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm ready for group 1. Yeah.
This is Chattery again. Okay, let's see if we can go back to you. Okay, you have it. So sometime it'll let people in, other times it won't. So go ahead.
Okay.
So you're doing number 5, actually.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Can I go back in? Yeah.
So you purchased 5 autos for 20,000 each. So that's 100,000.
And then I'm putting down 25,000.
Okay. So what type is that for the 25,000?
Is that 12 or?
Oh, that's 7.
7. This one has 2 transactional types too, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then this one would be, I think, what's the name of that one? It's 3, give me 1 second. 350. And that'll be for the remainder that's owed.
Correct.
And then this one is 12?
Correct.
Okay.
So I might have my writer for the, he moves fast. So I know he'll get his team through fast on next class period.
Can you like elaborate on 5? Because I took a look at 5 and I was trying to solve it on my own, even though I'm not in the group. But can you like
Okay, you
go
purchased
through?
5 automobiles. So if you purchase 5 at 20,000 each, how much is that going to be? 100,000. So you have 5 automobiles that have been purchased. Okay. Then you paid cash down of 25,000. Then you gave a note 75,000 for the rest of the money. So you purchased 100,000 in autos. 25,000 was paid in cash. That's a 7. 75,000 you gave a note. That's a type 12. The debit still equal the credit. You bought 100,000 in autos, but you did it 2 ways rather than 1 way. Just like you can use cash and scholarships or cash and student loans to pay your 1 bill. Got it?
Basically, just subtracted the 100,000 from the 25.
25 from 100 to get 75. That's correct.
Okay.
Couldn't hear you.
Oh, I said okay. I'm sorry.
I thought it was somebody else. So do you see that now? So all of these transactions, follow along that line. We've done most of them. I just wanted to get every team practice on doing it. Does any team have a question about any of the other journal entries?
Number 7. Number 7 would be 210, correct?
Say that again.
It'll be
Number
account
7.
number 210. And it would be 110
So you said
cash.
7, right? You received
Yes.
cash of 150. That's what you're talking about, correct?
Yes.
So the first one, what type is that?
It's a type 2.
No,
Transaction type. Hold on.
yes,
I
type
think I
2,
got it.
that's correct. That's a type 2.
I was like, I thought it was. Okay.
It's a type 2. So you're simply gonna do what? Debit cash?
Yeah, cash. Is that gonna be 100?
Yeah. Credit sale.
Yes, I'm
That's the 500.
100,
Yes,
500,
yes, and then 1,500. 00.
and the amount for how much?
1,000. Well, 150,000.
150,000.
So why wouldn't it be 110 instead of 100?
Because you
Or
got the
210
cash.
because 210 is auto.
Here you got the cash. Now, if you went down to number 9, and it wouldn't be 210, it would be what? If you went down to number 9, what type would that be? 15? So we're going down to number 9, where you earn the revenue, but you did not collect the cash. So now, in that case, you're going to debit account receivable. And you're going to credit sales again. So
Are you doing
sales is
Are you doing the
500.
next?
Now we just
You on number
jumped
8
down
now?
to 9.
Oh, okay, you're on number 9. Okay, cool.
This is number 9. And the amount of income that we earned was 100,000. This would be a type 15. What's the journal entry? I mean, what's the account number for account receivable? I think that's 110.
Yes, sir. It is 110.
So for us to finish next time, you all are gonna have to be ready to go. I'll put a link in where you should turn in that information, corporate name, things like that, through stock issue, and your 10 journal entries. Then it'd be good if you select one person who has a good computer that ties in, have a secondary person too, so that you explain and that person can type. So it's really helpful if one person puts them all in, but each person who has a number by his name has to explain it as it's written in. Any questions? I'll put the rest
So
of
there
these.
are practice problems like this one, like these on Blackboard, right?
Was the one that we went over before, and this one, they all begin to repeat. And then that's why you have the journal entry study problem that has up to 70 journal entries, and you're just working with the first 40. So that's your practice.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
those 40 journal entries that you're going to be required to turn in. So if you want to practice, you practice on that 40. Now remember, you're supposed to be putting them on the Excel spreadsheets, on the first sheet in the Excel spreadsheets. Any further questions? I use this number, your number, for office hours tomorrow in case anything comes up. And of course, you have Joy, who will be happy to work with you. But if you can't do this, can't go any further. So that's why rather than spending a day on it and say, okay, that's journal entry and going on, we spend 2 weeks on it. So by this time next week, you should be proficient. And then by next Thursday, you'll have your quiz on this. Only 2 minutes. We will do a individual practice quiz next class period. That's just practice. So that you begin, because you've got to make journal entry. You can't sit back and watch, look at other people. You got to do it. Okay, I got this next class coming up in 5 minutes. You all work well. Stay safe, blow that storm away, and we will see you all on Thursday.
You have a good day.
Well,